The Nitty Gritty from Music City. 103.9 The Maverick.
Okay, I teased this earlier in the show if you were listening. A 30-year-old interview resurfaced in Nashville this week thanks to a YouTube channel called Video Stock Archives. Really cool old interviews from classic country artists of the 80s and 90s that are starting to see the light of day once again. And fortunately, one of the more recent interviews they unearthed and posted was a sit-down from 1995 with the late, great Waylon Jennings. Now, Waylon was speaking what sounded like a German reporter, and for whatever reason was very open and frank in speaking with his man. Now, Waylon, as you probably know, was a guy who just didn't give a rip what anybody thought of him or his musical feelings, but this sit-down cultivated some very thoughtful, drawn-out answers. And when the topic of the Nashville music community and record companies came up, boy, old Waylon didn't hold back.
My problem was I had ideas of my own, and they weren't used to that. So I could not figure out why you couldn't put a rockin' beat to a country song, because they borrow from us. They had a system here when I came to town, and I didn't fit, and they would rush you. And it was kind of like assembly line music, and you had to record in their studios. You had to use their producers. You had to use the producers' favorite musicians. And I couldn't understand then how a guy could go to college and get a 4-year degree in marketing and come and tell me he knew more about my music than I did. They had a thing called the Nashville Sound, and me and the Nashville Sound was like oil and water. There was no edge to that music. It was one thing, and everybody recorded, and it all sounded the same. And it was the thing that worked. I didn't want to destroy that, but I didn't want to do that. So therefore, they saw a danger in me of destroying what they had going. I decided to quit once because Epic Records had told me that really nobody wanted to hear me sing anymore, and that, the radio wasn't going to play my records anymore, and they couldn't do anything. So I said, well, that's all right. I don't even have to work anymore if I don't want to. And then I realized I've never let anybody run me off from nothing, and they're not going to run me off here.
I posted this entire interview on my blog. You can watch and listen to the whole thing, and boy, is it worth it. 1039themaverick.com/Woody.